What the heck am I going to send my database that they're going to see as value? Well, if you're asking yourself that, you came to the right place. Here's what we know. Over 95% of homeowners are not likely to sell in the next 12 months. So if the real estate conversation is all you got, you might be in a bit of trouble. And that's exactly why agents don't reach out to their database consistently. They don't know exactly what to say, and they're afraid to bother them. And here's the problem with that. After a transaction, over 80% of the people say they would use their realtor again. And less than 20% actually do. And that's not because the agent consistently followed up with that person and became a little annoying. It's because they became anonymous. So here's the first thing we need to solve for. We need people to think you when they think real estate. And that's just not today, tomorrow, next week, next year, until the next transaction. That could be decades. Because if they don't, guess what? You don't get the business and you just became a statistic. Now, outside the buying window, most people won't see a lot of value in a small Bank of Canada rate change or some new housing policy or even the last listing you sold, unless that listing is in their neighborhood. We do know this. Outside the transaction, the more hyper-local the information, the more value your database will see in it. If every time a house sells, they get the sold price from you, and every event happening in their neighborhood, you're the one to let them know about it, they are going to continue to think you when they think real estate. In most areas, that keeps you up to date with everybody at least once a month. But does this alone build a really strong relationship? Not by itself. So next, we need to bring value with something they like or something that matters to them. That's how you build stronger, more personal relationships. This is where we start to group people together in our database. I coach an agent who's a foodie. She talks to the part of her database she's identified as foodies as well. She sends them everything, from Ribfest to restaurants to Michelin stars. What about young families? Do you communicate regularly, seasonally? Do you let them know what to do with the kids in the summer, in the winter, on PA days? That's a huge value to parents. And don't forget sports. If you find out somebody is an F1 fan or they're a fan of a particular team, you can congratulate them, or you might be able to make a little bit of fun of them. Did I mention a lot of my friends are Leaf fans? And don't forget about birthdays, holidays, home anniversaries, wedding anniversaries. You curate the experience that you want for each person and each group in your database. Remember, the value piece that most people see value in will have the least impact in deepening their relationship. The more specific the value, the better. And all this can be built by finding out what other agents are using or even through AI nowadays. Now that you've got a plan for every person and every group, and you've worked really hard to run it consistently, here's what's likely to happen. As you turn the volume up of you to people who already know and like you, you know you're going to get busier. Unfortunately, that doesn't solve the problem. If the system you just built relies on you to run it, it's built to fail. Once agents get busy, all this stops and they run to service their clients because they care. They run to service their clients because that's what they care about. So how do we keep this running when we're busy? Well, that's step 5. So I hope you're following, and I'll see you soon.